Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Jamie's Motion Graphics. Today we're making this. All of this has been made in After Effects and all of this has been made from scratch. I will show you step by step how you can make it yourself. Okay, here we are in After Effects. We are going to start off with a new composition as always. It's going to be 1280 by 720 and it's set to 30 frames per second. So we're going to just hit OK, and if we need to change anything like the length here, then we can do that afterwards. Although the length is pretty short, I guess it's easier to just get a bigger length first and then cut it down to size afterwards. So 30 seconds should be more than enough. We're going to make kind of a clock thing. Well, you've already seen it. I still have to create it. So we're going to start off by selecting a background color. I'm going to go with more of an earthy theme today. Yeah, I've already done a couple of different colors, but you can of course fill this with any color. This is a nice, rare, really disgusting yellow color, but it will do nicely for our tutorial here. Yeah, this is just the background, so we're going to lock it, make sure that we don't accidentally move it around, and then just create our first solid. This is going to be our yeah, well, our main part, I guess. So basically the background for our clock, and we will see which color. This one, a little bit darker. It is going to be circle, obviously, so select 4 points with about the size that you want. Well, it doesn't actually have to be. We're going to type it in anyway. Go to masks or just hit M and that will bring you to the same result. Go to shape and we're going to let it run from, let's say, 440 to 840. Nice and big. And this from 160 to 560. This way it's centered. Oh, and I forgot something. I always forget this. It's insane. Reset to ellipse. So same values. It's going to be nice and big. We can even make it bigger, but I want to do some stuff on the edge or around it, on the well, exterior. We're going to feather it out a bit, just because I haven't used that enough. Let's say we feather it out 50 pixels. Yeah, that seems about right. So yeah, it's a little bit vague now, and I kind of like that. You can, of course, if you don't like that, you can just put it to 0, and then it will look like this. Yeah, well, it's just a matter of taste, I guess. And you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to do it like this, though. It's going to make a nice contrast with all of the crisp motions that we're going to put on it. So now for our effects. So we're going to just put on a new solid. It is going to be, yeah, I wanted it to be white, but that doesn't seem very earth tony. So we're going to make it yellow, brighter yellow than the other one. And this one is going to be, yeah, it's going to be our swipe. So we're going to just copy paste this mask. So just stand on the mask, copy it, then stand on your new layer and paste it, and you will see that it will actually appear there. Yeah, I can also hit M. You can do the same thing as you did before, but I want to have the F, in fact, the feather, and set that to 0 over here. Yeah, I think I want it a little bit smaller. I don't want this to be all the way in the outer edge. I'm not sure, actually. Let's just go to mask path, to the shape, and just, no, I really don't know. I'm going to make it smaller, quite a bit smaller actually. So I'm going to make it about a halfway to where, well, where our other one reaches. So 740. There you go. It's not super big anymore, and we're going to cut out a piece of that. We're going to make a new mask over this one or under this one. It doesn't really matter for now. And we're going to make that either smaller or bigger depending on what you want. Let's make it 50 bigger, which means this was supposed to be 90. No, sorry. This is supposed to be 490 then. This is supposed to be 790. And this one's supposed to become smaller. This one's supposed to become bigger. And that seems about right. So now we set the smaller mask to subtract. And then we have our ring. So the ring is going to be the thing that we're going to animate here. And with this thing here, we're going to add the wipe effect. If you're having questions about the wipe effect, let's just type radial wipe. Yeah, there's a whole video on how to use this and where I explain a lot more. I'm just going to use it here. The video will be the previous episode, which is episode 9, I believe. But yeah, well, you can find it. It shouldn't be too hard. It's called radio circular wipe or something like that. So our start angle is going to be 0. Our completion is going to be, let's say, this much. Well, this. So we're going to have 95%. Sorry. Yeah, and our angle is not going to be 0, in fact. We're going to put it to minus 340. Is that correct? It should be, hang on, 36 degrees per 10%, so that's 18 degrees, meaning this should be 42. So, yeah, it's basically, this is in percentage, this is in yeah, well, actual units, and we're just going to animate the start angle. That would be the easiest way to do this. You can do this in several different ways, but I'm just going to animate the start angle, and we're going to wipe it from, let's say, 0. No. Let's start at half a second. Half a second of silence always seems to be a good plan to have. So hitting U, we can see that the start angle is actually already activated because I already hit the start angle stopwatch. So hitting U gives you all of the animated properties, and well, I only had one. So we're going to wipe for 1 second. We can actually do it a lot quicker. No, 1 second seems about right. So we're going to wipe until 1 plus that, and maybe even less. It seems that we should wipe until 0. That way it actually, yeah, so that way it actually gets in one entire circle. Well, what seems to be an entire circle, it's actually not, because the entire circle would end up at the same spot. But yeah, well, this is just going to pop up and then make a rotation and then disappear again. At least that's the plan, because we still need to make that happen. So first of all, it's going to have to appear at this spot. So just drag your layer up until this point, and then it will disappear. It will appear. So it will appear, it will rotate, and then it will disappear. Actually, it might be better if we can, yeah, let's set this to 0, and then set this to, what was it? I don't know, I'm just going to find it out. So this one is now 0, and the second one is also 0, so we're going to set it to this amount, which should be 18 degrees. So 1 plus 18 degrees, which means it's going to rotate just more than once, and we can actually mask off what we don't want, and that is what we're going to do. So we're going to add another mask, hit M, and we're going to have mask 3 here. Actually, mask 3 is in the right spot. Never mind. we're going to add a new mask here. We're going to put it exactly over the middle. And if we want that exactly over the middle, we are going to just type in the values, because we want that to be exact. And otherwise it's not exact, and we don't like that. 640. The rest doesn't really matter. So reset to rectangle, hit OK, and then we're going to set that to a subtract mask. So nothing can appear in this mask. In fact, we're going to push this up a little bit so that it only crosses over this quarter of the circle. We do that by going here and then setting Y to 360 or something like that. So 360 is exactly a quarter. This means that now it will look like this. So it will come out of the thing. It doesn't really, or it still looks the same. It actually is the same. It's just that now we have the wipe, and then we're going to, once it's, let's say, over here, we're going to take the mask path, edit it, go to the next frame, so page down, and we're going to put this mask into a different position, and we're going to do that by typing it in. So this is going to be 640, this is going to be, I don't know, 1000, and the rest can stay the same. So as you can see, it moves to the right, and it does that in 1 pixel, so we don't have to worry about well, unwanted overlap. And now it can't well, it can't go over this little thing. The thing is, if we now, so with this setup, if we now edit the time that it takes to make one rotation, it will still work as long as we bring these keyframes with us. So that should be fine. So with this being done, our first part of the animation is done, and we're going to just go to the next one. Now we're going to do shape layer, because well, even though I hate using shape layers, they're still useful for some things. And we're going to take, I don't know, something here, I guess. A little more red would be nice. Dark red, something, let's say this. We can of course make our own colors by, or well, make colors that are see-through, so that you have kind of more of a thing going on. And we're going to make a little circle and just edit that, of course, with the actual numbers, because we don't want this to be like an imperfect circle. No, it has to be perfect. It's going to be 20 by 20. So unlock the properties there, the constraint properties, because otherwise you can't edit it, and well, yeah, well, whatever. You can figure it out for yourself if you're having trouble with it, but yeah, we're going to position it exactly at the 12 o'clock. Don't know which exact position, but well, we can type it in. So the position is going to be 0, and then minus 180. It should be, yeah, okay, minus 150, I guess? No, never mind. Yeah, I accidentally did the rotation there, so no, minus 180 seems fine. Okay, now we're going to hit the add button and get the repeater going again. We can actually add a stroke as well, that would be cool. Just a small one, not 5 pixels, let's say 1 pixel. Just to make it a little more visible. And because here I'm using white as the stroke color, but because I'm only using 1 pixel, it actually blends a little with the rest. So yeah, it's fine. We're going to now, as I said, add the repeater. There you go, repeater. And we're going to make sure that it gets replicated, let's say 12 times. And we want it to be rotating. and you can see here what happens if you rotate it. There's actually a rotation between each of them. So the rotation is going to be 30 degrees, I believe. Yeah, and then the distance has to be scaled as well. So by adding on the position correctly, we can actually make this. So 30 because we have 12 copies, and we have a total of 360 degrees. So 360 divided by the number of copies, 12, becomes 30. So yeah, it seems the position is 0. So that makes a perfect circle, because then the end one ends up where the beginning is. And yeah, well, that's what we wanted. So, do we agree with what it looks like? Yeah, I kind of don't. So I'm going to adjust the color at the very least. I don't want white, as I said, but I can go for some yellowish color. Well, actual yellow. Yeah, it's fine. I guess I don't want it to mess up this color though, because now it's a lot of yellow on the screen. We'll see. We can always change it. I probably won't, but we can always change it if we don't like the coloring. So, what's this orange solid going to, or sorry, my shape layer going to do? Well, it's not going to do a whole lot, except for show up every time that the, well, whatever this is, the rotating thing crosses it. So if this one is over here, this one is going to light up, and so on. It's fairly easy. All we need is a mask on the shape layer, and masks on shape layers are kind of tricky, because it's if I normally do this, I get a shape. So yeah, as you can see, that's not what we want. So undo, Control Z for those of you that don't know. You want to set this to tool creates mask, and then you want to mask whatever you want to mask. So in this case, we want to mask, let's say, yeah, that's way too many points, never mind. I'm just going to put 1 point over here, put 1 point over here, and then I guess 1 point over here somewhere, and then we do the same over here. And then we're going to go around it. All we need to know is that it's actually covered, so the rest doesn't really matter. And now we're going to adjust it to make it look a little bit prettier. Yeah, I overdid it a little bit with this one. Doesn't have to be that white. So this one then, let's just adjust it so that it kind of looks all right. Yeah. Just pull it back a little. So yeah, everything is covered now except for one thing. And now instead of the additive mask that we now have, so masks, we now have add, but instead we're going to do subtract. And you can see how that works. Now everything gets hidden except for the part that we didn't mask. We could of course have just put this one. I just realized that. This is being very stupid of me. So pen tool, we can just remove this one, and we can even just adjust this one to point towards the other. It's not that hard to do, but for some reason I thought it was necessary. Okay, continuing on, that means that we need to make this mask jump a number of degrees every time, well, this thingy reaches a new point, which is what we're going to do now. So first of all, we're going to start at, well, no, I guess where we are now. So when do we want it to blink on? Well, that's right here. So we're going to go to mask path, set a keyframe, and then set a keyframe at the moment we want it turned off, and here, this is when the top one should be burning. So we want it to turn on right here. So set a keyframe, and turn off right here. So set a keyframe. So we're going to have, well, one frame of nothing, and then, well, 3 frames of this position basically. And then here we want the rotation to actually, yeah, I can also, or I cannot do rotation obviously, but I want this to rotate a few degrees so that this one is invisible but the next one is actually visible. So unfortunately we're going to have to do that like this, because that is the way it is. So cover the next one and then just make sure that everything is covered the way it should be. So now this one is going to light up the moment, or should be lighting up the moment this one appears, and that means that here it's just not there. So grab your mask path and just cover the last part as well. Yeah, I only need one. So what happens now is you basically have this one, then it's going to rotate, and then here the next one will blink on. And of course we once again are going to just drag the mask path, just make sure this one is available and the other one is covered. It's not hard, it's just a lot of work. You can of course also do this in several other ways, but yeah, they're just as much work. It's all the same. The advantage of using a shape layer here is that all of the things are exactly equidistant, so you know that all of your dots are the same shape but also the same amount of pixels away from each other and things like that, so it's symmetrical. So this one, yeah, I can't really tell, but it should pop on here, so just drag your point over there and you can actually zoom in more. Actually zoomed in already. You can zoom in as much as you want. So then go to where you suspect it to, well, turn off, then copy paste this one or just set a new keyframe. And then you go to your next one. And because you want this to jump, I actually didn't do that correct here. You want this to jump and not move around like it does here. So either this one is on or this one is on, but you can't have nobody on, basically. So I have to decide in this spot which one do I want to turn on. I want to have this one on because it's still touching it. And here it's the same story. So instead of moving, it needs to immediately snap from this to this. And you need to set that up by doing it correctly. And I didn't. So there's that. So we're going to copy paste this one in here so that now it will jump from this one. So first of all we have this one, then it immediately jumps to this one. It will hold this one, then it will jump to the next one, jump to the next one, and here it's still on this one. So now on the next one it will jump to number 4. You can of course make more than 12. You can also make less than 12. If you say like, yeah, I want to make bigger balls, but then just make 3 of them, 4 of them, that's fine too. Well, or you can choose for a completely different effect. You can just do whatever you want. That's the fun of this. That's the fun of creating stuff. You can make it the way you want it. So yeah, this one now jumps from this to this. Page up, page down allows you to scroll through the time frames, and you don't have to be very precise with it, with the mask, as long as it doesn't reveal anything you don't want revealed. So this one still should be our point that we have here. And then the next one should be our next point. So I'm going to finish that and I will be back after. Okay, so we're all done and this is the result. So let's switch out this. So all the way over here. There you go. It kind of looks terrible, to be honest. In slow-mo it looks fine, but if you play it, I'm not really satisfied with what it looks like. So I guess, yeah, it's there, but it's not what I intended, or what I hoped it would be. I guess we can reverse the mask and just say it's an additive mask, and that way it will disappear when the thing comes in. That actually looks a little bit better. Let's just use it like that then, and hopefully that won't look terrible in the end. But yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes. So yeah, I thought that would be more interesting. So let's also add some kind of wipe to the entire thing. I mean, we discussed wipes earlier, might as well use one now. Yeah, let's make it somewhat interesting. Create a new composition and then go to your project file, put comp1 in there, and we're just going to wipe in the entire thing. So for the first half a second, as I said, nothing will happen, but we're going to make that into a little bit more. I'm going to turn that into 1 second of nothing happening. So move this up. And yeah, for this first 1 second, we're going to wait half a second, that's 1, and then we're going to wipe everything in half a second. So another radial wipe on our next layer. Well, first we need to create a layer to actually contain our background that we have now. So yeah, I could actually just use a black background as well. Yeah, let's just do that. Just the black background. Oh, I can't wipe on a black background. Okay, so new solid, and we're going to turn that black. So yeah, just pop in the radial wipe on your solid, well, on your black solid. And this is now your black background, and then once it's completed, so once it completes the entire wipe, oh, hang on, we do need a background of some sort like this, so we can actually see what's happening if we do it. So it will come in like this, and then it will wipe the entire screen. And then once it's done, the rest of the animation will start. So what we need is we need this first frame to be on the left side as well. Well, there's several ways to do it. First of all, I can just copy this composition, because the first half a second is actually empty stuff. So I could use 15 frames, so just use it like this basically. Just duplicate it twice, move it 15 frames forward. That's 15, right? Yeah. And then move it 30 frames forward. I'll do 2 of them. So like this. And now this will work. In general, however, this is not a good solution, because we want to learn how to do it properly. So go to your, or select, well, first of all, select the layer you want to have, then go to Effect, Time, and then say time something. No, we have to right click for this one, I think. Enable time remapping. That's what we wanted. So we're going to go 1 frame into the future. Just set a remap coordinate and then drag this one, so the first one, all the way to the beginning. Then extend our layer, because it does have to exist there. And then we will see that all of a sudden that first frame has become, was this 31 frames? Yeah. And then the rest will just continue to be normal. So at half a second, this should start, and it does. So you can actually adjust more of it. It will automatically create a point in the beginning, and yeah, so in the beginning of your layer, and you can just drag that to where you want the beginning to be. So it's basically a way of time stretching your composition. So now we can edit this this wipe. As I said, we're going to animate the transition complete like normally. And first of all, we're going to set it to 0. Then at 1 second, it's supposed to be at 100. And actually, hit U. We're going to drag this to 15. So what happens is nothing, and then it will wipe, and then our clock will start. Well, it's not too bad. Could have been worse. So by making a new composition, I can now use the entire composition as one layer, which means that I don't have to worry about anything else. So this is just one layer. It will never move the little balls in regard to the other parts or whatever. So I can still edit this, of course, but I can also continue in this one. So for now, we're just going to, I don't even know. Oh, we'll continue in this one, just for the fun of it. It doesn't matter, it's exactly the same. The advantage being that you just use it as a layer here. So you can time remap one thing, and then you get the entire composition. So everything gets remade. Yeah, okay, so we're currently at what time this happened? We're currently at this 2:15. So at 2:15 we want something crazy to happen. So let's say at 2:15 here we want all of those balls to disappear because they kind of annoy me and they shouldn't be there anymore. So 2:15. The balls are in the shape layer, so just Control-Shift-D or edit split layer. Just delete them. They are no longer necessary. So at 2:15 this happens, and then we're going to, or well, rather, the disappearance happens. And we will no longer have to worry about that. So let's add some kind of explosion effect or something like that. Now let's have something that actually moves out, and then, well, kind of like the previous one. You'll see. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully, I'm coming up with these things just now, so I didn't try them out yet. It's too much work basically to try them out first, and I know just about what I want to make. So a new color, orangey. Okay, there you go. Orange it is. It's going to be a star, because stars are awesome. And it's going to be like this. Yeah, we are going to have to edit this a little bit. First of all, it seems that I'm really bad at getting the right angle there. So let's first get the right angle. So you can redo. Yeah, so we have the solid. We're now going to drag the star on there. The star should be pretty big because I don't want to dilute too many pixels. And it should, well, I'm pointing it upwards. You can do whatever you want with it. So now we're going to position it correctly, because the problem here is actually anchor point, so that's A. We want the anchor points to be in the middle. So you can just drag it around make sure that the anchor point is in the middle of the star, so that if you hit R for rotation, it'll actually rotate around the center. And yeah, that's not entirely the center, I believe, but yeah. You can adjust it, of course. So I do want that to be a little bit higher, somewhere like that. So now, with this this thing being in the middle, so hopefully it is in the middle. I don't actually know where the middle of my composition is. I'm just hoping that this is in fact the middle. It seems about right. We're going to set a movement path for it, so hit the position keyframe at the moment you are currently, so that should be 215 and now 315. Hang on, we have the balls disappear somewhere. Disappear here? Okay. I thought I said 215. Did I mess that up? No, 215. Oh, yeah. Of course. We're 1 second later because we added the beginning part. I forgot about that. So 315. We're going to move from here to, let's say, I don't know. Oh, yeah, let's not take that again. We're going to move out, take the entire mask, hit M, mask path, and we're going to move it. Oh, sorry, that's not correct. We have the position to move. So we're going to move over here and then over here. This is our new position. It already has a keyframe now, but I forgot to move in time. Let's move to 4 seconds, maybe. It will go very quickly if we do it in half a second. I guess here would be good. So move it over here. That's better. Now we get the line, and that's what I was looking for. So go up. And now, more importantly, we want this to be a little bit more interesting. So turn the handles into a more interesting path. So we now have a star that moves outwards, as you can see. But we also want it at the same time to scale. So hit S. Well, put on the stopwatch, obviously. We want it to start at 0, I guess, and end at 100%, which is here, and this should be 100. Hopefully that looks okay. Yeah, let's not start at 0. It looks weird. So let's start at 10, maybe even more. Yeah, I think it should be higher here. So currently it's 37%. Let's make it 50. Let's actually make that 50 when it crosses the edge here. So yeah, you can address these kind of things if you want to. Yeah, that's about what I had in mind. So it will grow a little bit faster in the beginning because it's so tiny, and then yeah, the rest is just normal expansion. If you want, you can set this keyframe to easy ease, which means that the zoom will be a little bit smoother, but yeah, you really won't see it anyway. So before this keyframe, it shouldn't exist. So just go to Edit, Split Layer. Everything in front of this moment will disappear, which means that the little orange dot that is here does not exist here. So it will start appearing here, and there you go. Yeah, okay, that's cool. But obviously we want multiples. So as I said, we want to have some kind of wipe effect. Let's copy the wipe from our first composition. So this one. Just hit Control C and then Control V. You have the entire solid copied, which is excellent, and it will do exactly the same as it did before. only you have to address the timing. So since it is 0 here, we're going to 0 at 0. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, so let's do that, and let's remove one of the masks. So I only want the big mask, which means that mask number 3, which is the small mask, can disappear. Mask number 4, which is the mask on the sides. I don't know if I want to keep that. Yeah, let's keep it for now. It seems to do well. And does it do the same? Yeah, it does the same in the same amount of time. Mask 2, which one is that? I don't know which is which. Which is mask 2? I don't know. Apparently I put in a mask that didn't really do anything, so must have been a misclick, which is fine. We can always remove it. So now we have this, we're going to use that to time our stars. So, well, stars, I only have one currently, but I'm going to move that upwards a little. I'm going to duplicate it, Control D, move it over, let's say, so this total animation takes, what, 30 frames? Yeah, let's say I want 10 stars. So I want to have one every 3 frames. So 3, and then we're going to hit the R for rotation, and we're going to rotate the entire layer by 30 degrees. No, that's not right, 36 degrees. This way, our second star should come out, and it doesn't. It should come out differently, I wanted to say. It does rotate the star, but it didn't rotate the path. So we're going to have to address that. And I don't know how to do that. Hang on, I should be able to figure this out, right? The position should be, or the position is fixed in time, which is why we can't rotate it. But we can, of course, pre-compose this. So layer, pre-compose, star, and then instead of using the orange solid, we're going to use the new composition. I'll show you in a moment. If this works, I'll show you how it's done. R, and that should move the path as well. 36. It didn't. Okay, excellent. Then I don't have to actually explain anything to you. No, it seems that the position just isn't going to change, and that is unfortunate, because I kind of hoped it would. Yeah, that is unfortunate. I was trying to hear it only rotates the star. I was obviously trying to make sure that I could get the same path, but then a few degrees different, because that would have been awesome. So this is now a new composition. It's called star. It does nothing else than just create a star. I don't even know why this is like this, but okay. Yeah, so we can undo the creation of that. And I guess we're going to have to do it by hand then. Which is kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it is sometimes. So the first one was released over here. And it is going to go straight up and then go over that way. So the second one should be similarly, only with released similarly, but only on a different angle, namely this angle. And we can adjust the end position as well. Position, we can just select this. That doesn't work that way apparently. Why can't I just select this point? Maybe I should just hit shift. Nope. Oh man, I'm messing it up quite a bit here. This is not that hard to do normally. I don't know why it doesn't allow me to just drag this one point. But I guess I just have to go to this point in time and just adjust it like that. Because now it means that I can just do it like that and just do it like that. So they will fly in different arcs, I guess, but I can at least adjust them now. So let's do that again. Let's duplicate this, move it forward 3 frames, 1, 2, 3, and there you go. And then adjust the settings on it. So P for position. Just go to your line here. Hang on, where are you? There you are. So just drag the line to there, and then just go to the end frame, or just select the end frame, I guess. Yeah, that's how that works. Just put it in a new position and, well, just adjust it the way you want it. Let's see on this one. It seems that I kind of overdid it with the arc here. Oh, that was not what I intended to do. Yeah, I'm locking these layers so I can't touch them, because I accidentally moved one of the layers where I didn't want to. Okay, like that. That's a little bit better. So once again, just duplicate 1, 2, 3, and then hit P for position. Adjust the position accordingly. So this one is going to go over there. This one is going to go over here somewhere. Okay. Control D. 1, 2, 3. Yes, this is quite a lot of work, but it is the only way to do it, unless you want to write a script for it. But we are not there yet, so I'm not going to explain to you how to write a script for this. So for now, just do it by hand. It's not that much work. I mean, it's not like you will spend half an hour on it. But I will do the rest on my own. And I will see you in a moment. Okay, so we're back. I made all of the stars. And now we're going to adjust them for, well, because we couldn't actually rotate them, we're going to adjust them if they don't fit our priority, well, our vision, I guess. So this one, for example, needs to be a little bit further up. So we're going to find this in the composition. It's this one. And we're going to adjust the speed. Oh, which one is this then? This one? Yeah. Okay, so it's this one apparently. We're going to adjust it so that it actually travels the correct amount with the correct angle. And if we move this one down a bit, we can take the next one. Just move that down a bit so that it actually looks more like an arc, like the way we want it. So yeah, this one is obviously way off. It is not where it's supposed to be. Let's put it over here. So yeah, I'm making just a nice arc. You can make of it what you want. Oh, this one doesn't have position selected. There we are. Next one. Next one is way off as well. So yeah, let's just put it over here somewhere, and then adjust this this handle, if it actually would allow me to. Problem with these handles is you have to click them very precisely, or they, well, you will accidentally select something else, and that's never what you want. So maybe I am not going to reach it, but we'll see. So of course there are multiple ways to get them in each position, but there's really only one correct way, and this is not the correct way. You need to keep track of the angle, the traveling speed, things like that. We want it to be over here somewhere. We want it to end up over here somewhere. So maybe this one is just too far out. That could be it as well. Yeah, that seems better. Only now I need to adjust this, because obviously we want it to be in a nice position. And let's adjust it a little more. I don't know. So that position is about right. So yeah, you may have to go over this a few times to see whether it is what you want out of it. So the last two still have to be adjusted. Let's do that first. Yeah, they're way up there. The problem is I didn't really rotate enough with the other ones. So I'm going to rotate this one a little bit more, and then hopefully we can actually fill the gap so that it doesn't look too weird. This one's way too far out, this one. Bring it back to where it should be. Bring this one back a little. It's too far out. Bring this one back. So as I said, it's just a tuning process here. You just want to make sure that it looks alright. It doesn't have to be like perfect, but at least it has to look alright. And well, this point, so kind of the point where they come out, it has to look like they're flying the right direction. And currently, yeah, this one is too close. So I have to pull it out a little bit more. Make sure that that we get into the right position, because we really aren't in the right position here. Oh, come on! These things, they really need to address that, and maybe they did in one of the future releases of After Effects. I'm still working with an old one, CS4. So you can of course do another row of these stars, which would be actually cool. You can actually do that. There you go. So let's see what it looks like if we actually play it. Here we go, they shoot out, and it looks about right. Like some of them, like this one, travel really weirdly, but it looks about right. Plus it stays, this one also stays on screen, so you do want to address that a little bit. Oh, that's not the end point. Yeah, we do want to move the endpoint a little bit to the left so that it's actually off screen. Same here. To move this top side a little bit more so that it's actually off screen. Yeah, this one had a really strange trajectory, so let's adjust that a little bit. Make it a little bit smoother, just for the fun of it. There you go. You can also make them rotate, you can do whatever you want with them. And maybe we're going to do one more take on this. So take all your orange solid thingies and just, now we're going to pre-compose, because it would be kind of crazy to do that twice, or to, well, to make all these layers. We're going to call it stars. Hit OK. And now we have stars, which is this entire layer of stars. And then we're going to just duplicate that by hitting Control D and then just setting it off to a new position. So yeah. And you can see that you can time it wherever you want. So we want this one now appears. So 1, 2, 3. That's where the next one should appear, and that's exactly where I was. So accidentally did that correctly, and yeah, you can see that this is now the same one. So this one doesn't have the right path here. I don't know which one that is. We can open up the stars by double clicking here, and this one I wanted to address. As you can see, it's not in the entirely right position there. It needs to be between those two stars, and it isn't. Plus it has a really weird way of travel. Maybe I should put this one over here. And then this one can go back to be what it was. Oh, come on. Nope. It's not going to happen. So move that back in a little. I guess that would be just about right. And the advantage of this precomposition is now that you only have to address this once for both of the uses that we had. Otherwise you would have had to do that twice. And now we can see it on a black background as well, which is pretty cool. Anyhow, that is done. So yeah, now all of the stars are coming out. And once that is done, we're going to go on to the next effect, which is happening at this position, which is 6:15. So let's think up something new. First of all, we're going to select a color for it. I don't know yet. Maybe a little bit greenish. Yeah, we can use some green in there. Maybe we should do another white-like effect. Maybe, I don't know, put on a new layer. I wanted to at least make this. So we're going to make a new circle. So yeah, here once again 2 masks, mask shape, and this time it's going to be 60 to 660, and it's going to be 340 to 940. And this time I'm not going to forget, reset to ellipse, hit the OK button, and I guess we want some transparency in there. So hit T for actually opacity, but it's a little bit too bright for my taste otherwise. We're going to put it all the way in the bottom, although that doesn't work, I just realized. So yeah, that's one of the disadvantages of using it like that. You do have to now put it in comp 1, which is fine, but it does mean that, hang on, what does that look like? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so let's feather it out a little bit. Not too much. Yeah, I do want to put up the opacity a little bit, just so I can actually see it happen when it happens. Yeah, it's an okayish effect. I could do with another color, I guess, but that's all up to you if you want that. I guess we're going with a little bit darker green. Yeah, that looks a little bit more like it's supposed to be there. Let's make it 80%. And then the feathering currently at 90 pixels. Let's make that 100. Okay. And then, well, the thing is, this isn't supposed to exist until we get over here, which is the 6.5 second mark or something like that, right? So yeah, all of the stars fly away. 6.5 seconds, which means 5.5 seconds in this composition. And we're going to just wipe it in once again. Radial wipe onto the dark lime green solid. And yeah, once again, just same technique as before. We're going to start by setting the transition complete to 100 in this case, and then wiping it back, so and then making a keyframe. There you go. And then we're going to wipe it, and let's say 1 second. Let's double wipe it. That would actually be cute. We're currently at 6 seconds, so we're going to say yes, you wiped it in, and let's make it a 3D layer. Hang on. 3D layer, this is also explained in the previous one. So in my previous explanation of how these things work, I can type in 180. So now it wipes the other way. You can see it now wipes clockwise, and that's the way we want that. So 6:15, we're going to do that once again, and we're going to have to how do I do this? What I want to have happen is I want it to wipe on, and then when it's about, let's say here, it's just, oh, I can just do it like that. Never mind. I don't have to explain, I can just show you. So I want this to be like, let's say this. Then I'm going to set the keyframe that I wanted. So I want this to be a keyframe now. We're going to then wipe the entire thing, but it's also going to wipe out what was behind it. And we're going to do that by setting the start angle and then going to the back here and saying, okay, this is where we are now. Hang on, I have to delete this first, otherwise it doesn't work. And now, so now it will wipe away everything that I just did. I'm going the wrong way, it seems. So yeah, we want this to wipe the entire time. Actually, let's do it all the way over here until this is 0 again. So it's 1 and 0 degrees. And then at the last few frames, I want to also adjust the completion angle. So that's like right here. It should still be 80. So let's set a keyframe. This is 80. And then here we're going to try to get it as close as possible to that edge. Actually, oh, I can just mask it. Here we go. Mask. Oh, no, don't mask. No, just draw a new mask. That's way more precise and therefore way better. So let's go to mask path shape. I'm going to have to edit the mask path. This is going to be 360. This is going to be 1000. Doesn't matter which value as long as it's something big. Reset to rectangle. That is terrible. How did that happen? Did I type a minus somewhere? No. I don't know. 360 should be right in the middle. Did I move this thing? Position? Nope. Okay, this is kind of strange. It must be because it's a 3D layer. But oh, let's just go for masks. Masks, let's set it to 0 then. So 0 is apparently here. Oh, left and right is reversed. Okay. Yeah, so it indeed had something to do with the the 3D layer. So this is going to be 1000. Okay, that is over here. So we have to make that minus something then, I guess. Minus 1000. And this is going to be 360. Oh, that you can't do that, of course. So minus 1000, and why can't I make it like that? The values are right. 1000 and then 360. Can I do that? I'm just trying to figure out what it will accept. Apparently the right side has to be 1000. Sorry, the left side then? This doesn't make sense at all. I can't change anything. Let's just redo this. Oh, reset the rectangle would redo it. No, it won't. Never mind. Yeah, I made a mistake by typing in the wrong values. Let's get it as close as possible so I can actually see the values. Because one of them has to be 360. I just don't know which one. Apparently neither of them. Minus 130 and 640 something. Oh, it is 640. I'm saying 360, but that's the half of the y, of course. Being so stupid. Anyway, this could be 0 and then reset the rectangle. Okay. So yeah, it will appear on the other side, but that is okay. It's going from 0 to, so 0 is now on this side to 640, and I was just being stupid. As usual. Yeah, instead of this being an additive mask, it is of course going to be a subtract mask, and it will only exist over here. So at this point, we wanted to just disappear. Everything in front of this point, this mask just shouldn't exist. Mask path is going to be non-existent before this point. Yeah. So one frame in front of that point, we're going to set a frame. Well, we don't actually have to set a frame, but we are. And then it's going to just move outwards. Then it's going to come in, and it's going to absorb this last part. And here we're going to set another frame, go one frame further, and we're once again throwing it out. Actually, I did all that work now for that mask, and now I'm not sure if I want the mask. Yeah, I do want the mask, never mind. We're going to go back to our animated properties. So hit U for that. You should know that by now. But, so we absorb all of this. Then at this point, the transition complete should be back at 100%, I guess. Does that change anything? Yeah, it does. So we need to make sure that the keyframes actually are correct. So this keyframe, which is the 80% correct, should be one keyframe before the other one, before I completely wipe out the mask, and then, or wipe out the wipe thingy and then go back to 0. Then we're going to wait a few frames, let's say 5 frames. Then we're going to do the exact same thing again, except without the start angle. So we're just going to say transition complete, going from 100. So make a point to, let's say, 20. So frame number 20. It is, hang on, this was half a second, right? I wiped this in half a second or in a second? Half a second. We're going to do it in a second now. Or close to a second. We're going to go until 7. Seems about right. So go to 7 and then say transition complete 0%. So what it looks like now is it's first going to wipe partially and then it's going to actually wipe on the color. We can actually do something with the feather as well. That's what it looks like now. And that was what I intended it to look like, so that's cool. Anyhow, let's do something with the feather. We can do that, right? So hit F for the feather. You can see I have 100 pixels feather, and that is quite a lot. But we can actually say, like, okay, let's not have feather on this first go. So I have 0 here, and it will just wipe, blah blah blah. Then we're going to set the feather to 0 still, and make it 100 just before it actually wipes the second time. So that means that now it looks like this. Will be a block and then it will be feathered. We can also, if this is not what you're looking for, make this 0 as well. So you only have to set it to 0 at this point. Just wait until it's all the way done, which is here, and go forward a few frames and then set the pixels to 100 or the feather to 100, and then it looks like this. The first one will still be the same, this one will be filled, and then it will feather out, which is cool as well. It's both of them are cool effects. We can also just do what I now think is cool. I really have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just experimenting here. So I'm setting this to 100, this to 100, and then this one is 0, so that is cool. Yeah, I do have to have one more 0 in there. Namely, right when this starts, it needs to be 0 as well. So that way, the first one is feathered out. The second one is not, but it will feather afterwards, which is cute. And then we're going to do something that's, I don't know. I really don't know. At this point, I've done so many effects already. I don't know what I want now. Let's make a new layer. Now this one can be all the way up top, so I can go to Comp 2 again, which is not as crowded, so that's a little bit nicer. It will select the same frame if everything goes right. So yeah, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. Which means that now we can add a new layer, make it a solid, and it's going to be an orangey one, more reds. So many cool colors to use, yet so little to do with them at the moment. Now this is way too bright. Solid settings, get a little less bright. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so from this orange solid, we're going to create something that is going to fly outwards. We're just going to use a rectangle. Not too big, also not too wide. I will reset it to a certain size. Let's call it, I don't know, 740 to 840. That's 100 long, and then 290 to 310, which is 20 wide. It could be a little bit longer. Let's make it a little bit longer. 700. Yeah, that's better. So we're going to set it in the middle. We don't have to actually rotate it, I think. No, we can rotate the entire layer. That should work. I'm going to duplicate this once more, just like with the others. So just like with our previous thingy. We're going to set it in the middle, and it is going to move outwards. So take the mask path and just keyframe it here, where you are currently. Then go outwards like 15 frames and just throw it away. That should be good. Okay. Hopefully I will be able to rotate this one. So duplicate, rotate, so R, and then yeah, this does work. See, I knew something had to work, right? Yeah, I'm not going to do it like this though. I'm going to make this into a pre-composition. So layer, pre-compose. And the reason I'm doing that, this is called projectile. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to copy paste it a number of times. And if I don't pre-compose it, I have to adjust every single one of them if I want to adjust something. Now I only have to adjust this one, and these are all instances of that one. So yeah, it's as easy as that. We can even make a pre-composition of all the projectiles we're going to use now, but well, we'll see. For now, we have 30, which means that they're going to be, what, 12 degrees apart? Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyhow, rotate 12 degrees. Rotate. Oh, it does work, right? It's not like it moves to the... Yeah, it does work, as you can see. It's just that it needs to be moving a little bit further to not disappear off the screen, but it does work the way I intended it. Okay, 24. 36. And so on. I will see you in a moment. Okay, we're back. I actually made only up until 180 degrees. You can of course do that even less. You can also go to 120 or something like that. I'm now going to take all of these layers, including the first one, so all of the projectiles, hit the layer pre-compose. Say it's called projectile setup, and then just duplicate that one. So this is now a new composition with all of these in there, and they all move the way that the first one moved. There you go. The thing is, I now only have to rotate this one by 180 degrees, so I don't have to type in all of the stuff. And this way it works as well. So it will just shoot outwards. And as you can see, it needs to travel a little bit further. So we're going to go to projectile and see what's happening here. I don't know where my mask is now. Well, it does seem to work, so I'm just going to trust that everything is fine. I don't know why it would remove my mask now, or why this doesn't recompose correctly. I guess we're just going to have to live with the fact that this is just the way it is. Although I don't have to, I can also scale this by, let's say, 110%, and that should already do it, hopefully. Nope. So let's undo that then. And what does that scale? Anyway, scale this one 110%. Yeah, that would actually work. So then I will have to do this one as well. I can also do the projectile setup, I guess. Apparently something isn't working the way I thought it would. So yeah, let's make something that actually makes these things appear, because yeah, here they all of a sudden are there, which is kind of weird, and we're going to just cut them off right here. So edit, split layer, cut off everything that's in front of this, because here they're all of a sudden there. They just appear out of nowhere, and that doesn't seem right. So yeah, instead of this being just randomly there, we're going to add some time issues to that. Enable time remapping. We've already seen how this works, and we're going to just say, well, we make a point here, and we make a point on the next frame, and now we're going to be able to remap them. Actually, let's grab one more frame of the original composition, delete these, and then just time stretch over, well, not time stretch, but do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this first frame is replicated, even though in this case it doesn't even matter. I just realized because the object's already there, so I can just get rid of the time remap because I drew this object. Anyhow, the first frame where it starts moving is now over here. So this is where the explosion starts. Actually, one frame in front of that. And we're going to set these to half a second later. Actually, 1 second later. And now we're going to make up something that allows these things to come into play, to, well, to basically be there. I mean, they can't come out of nowhere. They have to appear on screen somehow. So we're going to take these, and guess what? We're going to once again go to a new composition, pre-compose, and make this into the appear. So we're going to go to the appear one, and we're going to make sure that these things now appear in the composition like they should. So we're going to do that with, once again, a radial wipe. The reason I'm pre-composing that is because I want this to be only one layer, otherwise I have to copy paste everything, and that's too much work for me. Going to start off with 100%, and what we want to do is we want to wipe this on like 3 times, increasing the opacity every time. So we're going to start off with completion 0. Sorry, completion 100. And we're going to go to completion 0. And we do want to rotate this by 180 degrees. In Y, rotate 180 in Y. That way it wipes on this way. And at this point, we wanted to have transparency of, let's say, 30%. And we're going to duplicate it. I'm going to move this forward. Actually, no, let's just hit a U and move only this forward. So what it looks like now is nothing is there. Then it's going to wipe it on. It's going to wipe it on again. And then, yeah, it's already exploding, which is not the way we wanted that, but anyway, I'll just make it first, and then I'll get to the point of actually lining it up. Hit U, move these ones forward once more, and then just with this last one, I'm going to set the transparency or opacity. I'm going to set the opacity to 100% so that they actually get their original color. And then, yeah, they're going to explode, and I don't know why they're all colored differently. Oh, that's because I'm still wiping. Yeah. I got it now. So now we need to move this all back or all forward, however you want to look at that, because we want the wipe to happen before the explosion. So we're going to move it forward a little bit and then move all of the frames back. U, select all of the keyframes, move them forward, and then, well, what it will look like is it will wipe on the first one, hopefully. Where are you? Why is this not wiping? This one should be working, right? So the second one does work, and the third one works as well. Why doesn't the first one work? What did I mess up? Because I messed up something. Maybe this one needs to be up front to appear? No, that seems quite unreasonable. So yeah, at this point it is 0. And if we move backwards in time, you can see the value changing. It's just that it doesn't display anything. So maybe I messed up the transparency. Nope. It is up top, so it shouldn't be, but it is currently up top, so nothing is blocking it from showing. I really don't know. Oh, come on. What? Why is this happening? Let's just delete this and duplicate this one. Get the bottom one. Drag these two to like here. I don't know where exactly, but we'll see in a moment. There you go. 9:15. There you go. So does it work now? Nope. It seems that it just doesn't want to show the things. So why doesn't it want to show this? Turn these two off. Does it then show this? Because it's oh. Yeah. In the projectile setup, no, not in the appear, we actually cut it off. That's why. Yeah. You should only cut it off in the final composition. That is why it does that. So now it will wipe on again. Hello. Now this one's broken. It should put them on top of each other, so it shouldn't be... Well, we've already seen it work, so it's not like I'm dreaming up this effect. Let's see. Yeah, the transparency here is fine, because that doesn't change anything. So I don't know what's now the problem. All I did was adjust this, and that shouldn't change anything at all. Because all these things do is, well, just add twice the amount. So we had the effect just before now, and now all of a sudden it doesn't want to show up. Oh, I turned them off for more clarity. Oh, I'm so stupid today. Anyhow, there you go. Now we have the effect and the explosion, and we can actually say with the explosion that the background is going to fade. Let's say from here on we want to have the background fade out. So layer, new, solid. It's going to be the same color as the background, and it's going to be just beneath the appear thing here. And at this point it should have transparency, well, transparency of 100, but opacity of 0, and then it will come in over the same amount of time as this thing. No, not actually. It should be like over here. I don't know. I want to make a cool effect of it. Yeah, I can make a cool effect of this. Never mind. We're not going to do opacity. Opacity sucks. We're going to make it into a different kind of white. Let's just make it into an ellipse first, blah blah. Go to the mask, go to the mask path shape thingy, make it reset to ellipse. Currently it will be, I don't know, let's put it at 620 to 660, and then this to 340, 380. That's round, right? Yeah, so that's very small, but it does work. We're going to edit the mask path. We're going to set the feather to 0 for now, but we're also going to edit that. And one frame in front of this layer doesn't exist yet. So Control-Shift-D or split layer. Yeah, so let's see what we have here. We have these two things set up. So here nothing exists, then all of a sudden this thing does exist. Let's make the feather into like really big at the beginning, so that it kind of fades in. And here we want it to be following this thing. Well, we can actually grab this thing. So now we're going to make the mask path big enough so that it actually follows these things and just wipes out the entire everything. Actually, let's do that with scale. It's much easier instead of mask path. So just turn that off. It doesn't matter. Scale. Let's get the scale of 100 over here, which is when the effect starts. And yeah, we did start with a very small thingy, and we're going to end up with a very big thingy. And yeah, don't worry that nothing is showing. That is because I set the feather to a lot. So yeah, just match that up, and yeah. Okay, let's set or make the feather work for us then. So this should be 0 at this point. Well, a few frames in. So a few frames in, we're going to set the feather to 0. And by doing so, we actually follow the rest. Follow the rest of the effect. Come on, deselect. You know you want to. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, just normally you can select something here. Yeah. Yeah, the problem with scaling is this. You get all the pixels to show, and therefore I really would like to have a bigger circle in the beginning. So I guess I do have to go to mask path and make a bigger circle. So shape, let's make it 440 to 840. So this is the biggest circle we've used so far. Well, in this composition, it's already in here. Is the green one, I believe. Oh no, that's even 100 bigger. Okay, let's make it even bigger then. So that's 340 to 940, and this is 60 to 660. Yeah, so it's the green one. Yeah, we can now scale it. Obviously, we want to scale this down first. And then we want to not scale it up to this number. So I'm even going to delete that number straight away, because it would look very weird. The scale is now going to be this. And our feather, which is also done here, should be way more. So you can see now that it's kind of there. So I currently have 750 as a feather. So it doesn't pop into existence as a sharp edge straight away. It's going to be a well, not so sharp edge, and then in the end it will be a sharp edge. I actually don't want it to be a sharp edge ever. Let's say it will just wipe the entire thing. So we don't have to go all the way to the edges because, well, we don't need to go all the way to the edges. It's the same color as the background. So yeah, at this point we wipe the entire slate clean, and that's the end of our animation for now. I think I've talked long enough. So yeah, the only thing that's left to do is pick the composition where everything is in. That's composition 2 in this case. Find the exit or the endpoint. We're going to set it to 12 seconds. Just say composition settings, set this to 12 seconds. Then go to composition, make movie, and render out composition 2, because that is the one that you want to render out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.